Friends, I have a confession to make. I'm an addict. Wow, that's a load off. Yeah, the world finally knows that I'm addicted to saying that I'm really addicted to stuff. Hey everyone, Matt Lieberman here for D News. Self-diagnosis of addiction is rampant in today's society. And I'm not talking about alcoholism or drugs or anything substance-based. I'm talking about phone addiction, Twitter addiction, Facebook addiction, Chipotle addiction. Well, that's obviously a real thing, obviously. But are all of these diagnoses really addictions? And where does our addiction to addiction come from? Well, substance and behavioral addictions are becoming more widely recognized as common. Compulsive sex, shopping, and gambling as reactions to stress are accepted as addictions because of how the brain processes the cycle of stress, compulsion, and reward. In addition, and most importantly, the part of your brain that inhibits these risky behaviors is quieted. However, when it comes to things like Facebook and Twitter, no such quieting occurs. The issue stems not from our ability to stop ourselves, but from a lack of motivation to do so. AKA, it's easier to check my notifications than delete my profile and potentially miss out on an awesome party or my friend's cat. A recent study from Cal State Fullerton found that only between 0.7 and 11% of the people surveyed were strongly impacted by the addictive tendencies that they displayed concerning the internet and various internet services. Now, the American Society of Addiction Medicine defines addiction as a primary chronic disease of brain reward, motivation, memory, and related circuitry. It's characterized by the inability to stop, cravings, and most importantly, a lack of recognition of significant problems with their behaviors. Namely, if you have the awareness to claim addiction, you might not actually be addicted. Additionally, we have to talk about the definition of excess. If someone plays, say, World of Warcraft for 5 hours a day, they obviously have a serious habit. But if that person could not stop playing to save their life, like a man in Taiwan who died at an internet cafe after 3 straight days of non-stop play, something more sinister is obviously at work on a biological level. Okay. So maybe we exaggerate when we say that we're addicted to poking people or crushing those gosh darn candies, but what drives us to do so? According to Psychology Today, society has an addiction to addictions. The cycle is eerily similar to that of drug addiction, namely, a new technology is introduced, we overuse it to excess and find ourselves hooked. When we stop using it, we go into withdrawal. However, rather than go into recovery, we label our overuse as an addiction to regain some control over our behavior. It's not my fault that I can't stop Snapchatting, I have a disease. Hold on, actually, that would make a really good Snapchat. Sorry, I'm addicted. Our addiction to addictions and the rampant overlabeling, not to mention the highs and lows of watching people battle addictions on television, are rewiring our neurochemical impulses and pushing personal responsibility further and further into the background of our society. But hey, it's not our fault that we're so irresponsible. We're just addicted. Are you an addict who's not really an addict? Fess up in the comments below and be sure to subscribe for more D News every single day of the week. And you can find more of me doing newsy type comedy things over at SourceFed. So come say hi.